Well, welcome again, everyone. I'm going to continue to let people in as they join. Hello, hello. I'm just going to let a few more people in and I'll get started in a moment. And as you're coming in, feel free, type into the chat, let me know where you're from and how old your child is. So Anna, your daughter is 8 months old. Zozia is from New York with a 2-year-old son. Welcome, everyone. All right, well, let's dive in. I know you guys are busy and I really appreciate your time. I'll let people in as they pop in, I will let them in, but let's jump in and get started. And I really am just so glad that you are here today. And when your child is struggling with their skin, you're struggling too. And I know how hard this journey can be and has been for you. And if you're like anything if you're like any of the parents that I've worked with, you're just exhausted physically, mentally, emotionally. You've tried everything, but the rashes, the itching, the sleepless nights, they just don't stop. Tell me also into the chat. Oh, we have Jackie, and your son is almost 4. Welcome. I'm so glad that you guys are here, and thank you so much for joining me. Tell me in the chat, how long has your child been struggling with their skin? Let me know in the chat. 2.5 years. Wow, that's a long time. My son has been cheek eczema since October. Okay, since October. So that's quite a while as well. Yeah. Well, and I'm so sorry that you guys are going through this. And again, I'm just so glad that you're here today because the information I'm going to share with you is going to be really helpful and it's going to help you understand another aspect of this journey that is going to be really important for your child's healing. Let's see, we have a 2.5 years, and since he was around 9 months, so around 3.5 years. Wow. And then Jackie, the first flare appeared around 1.5 years old, mostly healed, experiencing a major flare post sickness and antibiotics. Okay, thank you for sharing. Yeah, and maybe even last night was another tough night, waking up with your child scratching. So many of my clients, I hear that they're waking up to their child scratching until they bleed, and you're trying everything you can to help your child, but you just still feel helpless. And maybe you've seen them miss out on birthday parties and holidays, afraid that the wrong food is going to make their skin worse. Maybe you spend more time searching for answers than you do at your actual job or staying up late researching instead of sleeping, since your child's typically not sleeping either. And, if that's you, I see you, I hear you, and I want you to know you're not alone. And again, this is a safe place today. So we are also going to take time at the end of the call to answer questions. So as you think of them, please go ahead and type them into the chat. I am going to hold them to the end because I have so much that I want to share with you today, and I'm really so excited to share this with you. So I want to make sure to get through everything. So go ahead and type your questions into the chat, though, as you think of them so that they don't get lost and you don't forget, because I want to make sure to answer all of your questions today as well. So let's talk about, there we go. So let me ask you, how many of these sound familiar? And Elizabeth, I bet these are going to all sound familiar to you as well, since you've already said yes to everything that I've said so far. But if you're like so many parents that I work with and that I talk to, you've cut out foods, but the rashes keep coming back. You've tried every cream, steroid, supplement, but the results don't last if you get any at all. You've been told that your child is going to grow out of it, but instead it's just getting worse. You've done lots of testing, even functional testing. You've seen different doctors and practitioners and specialists, but your child's skin just keeps flaring and it still itches. And you're probably tired of playing nurse and doing endless research instead of just being a parent. You're stressed out, you're overwhelmed, and you just feel helpless watching your child struggle with their skin. So if this does sound like you, drop a chat or drop a yes into the chat if this does sound like you. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. And I'm so sorry that you guys are going through this. And I do want you to know that the reason your child's skin isn't healing, it's not because you haven't tried hard enough. It's because everything that you've been told about treating the symptoms, that's what it's about. You're being told things that are about treating symptoms, not about the real root causes, even if you've been led to believe it is. And that's the tricky thing here, too, right? And let me know in the chat, like, you're doing all of these things. And if you've done the testing, like you think you're getting to the root cause of the problem, but you're actually not. These are still really focused on symptom management. And so we're going to talk more about these root causes today, because the bottom line is that healing your child's skin from the inside out is the only way to stop the itching, get lasting relief, and to get your life back. And this isn't about another temporary fix or more restrictions or just managing symptoms. This, what we're talking about today, is about real lasting change and giving your child more freedom. It's about real root causes and true healing. And we're going to dive deep in this today. And in particular, we are going to be talking about the missing piece that is keeping your child's skin stuck in a flare. And I want to make sure too that you leave here today feeling clear, confident, and empowered about what to do next. So hang around to the end. Again, there's going to be a live Q&A. So go ahead and start typing questions into the chat if you have them now. I just want to make sure that we get all of your specific questions answered for your child so that you have that support. And then I'm also going to be sharing a special reward with you guys for being here today at the end. So make sure to hang around. Now, in case we haven't met yet, my name is Jennifer, and I'm a pediatric clinical nutritionist, and I specialize in helping children with chronic skin issues like eczema and hives and psoriasis, chronic skin infections, and others. And again, I want to tell you guys this is a safe place to share. And so I'm going to share something with you, and this isn't something that I share a lot, especially in these trainings, because it's hard. So I am going to share this with you now. And so if you are wondering why I'm here, I was thinking about whether or not I was going to share this today, and I am going to share this because I think it's really important. It's important for you guys to know, and it's also important for my own healing journey. But so my dad was diagnosed with psoriasis when he was 6. And when I was a child, I remember at bedtime, he would slather himself, which I now know were steroid creams. I didn't know what he was doing then, but I just remember him putting cream all over himself. And then he would wrap saran wrap around it to hold it in overnight. And also, I think, to probably not to get it on the sheets or, what have you. So that's some of my first memories of my father. And then when I was 10, so he was about 35 years old, he developed psoriatic arthritis. I don't remember my dad any other way than in pain. And he's 76 years old now, like today at the time we're doing this training. And he's really taken a conventional approach only. That's all they really had back then. So he's done the steroids, the immunosuppressants, he's been on biologics, he's been on pain meds, he's been on all of them for 40 years now. And now he's having a lot of other health issues. He's got kidney problems, heart issues, skin cancer tags everywhere. He can hardly move, and he sits in a chair most of the day because it's the only place he's comfortable. And, this started out as psoriasis when he was 6 years old. And this disease, like it stole his life from him. And it took a lot of mine with it, along with my family's as well. So essentially, my father isn't the only one who has dealt with these skin issues or had psoriasis or psoriatic arthritis. The whole family has psoriasis and psoriatic arthritis. And I've seen what these tough skin conditions can do and what happens when the focus is only on managing the symptoms. And it doesn't have to be like this. And we can prevent this from happening to your child and your family as well, because it literally impacts the entire family, and it does not have to be this way. So that's why I'm here. And I just want you guys to know that there is hope, and it does not have to impact your family like this and like it has mine. So I do want to show you this. Now, tell me in the chat, does your child have skin that looks like this? Or maybe it's even worse. Or maybe you're worried about it getting this bad. So how does your child's skin look today? Tell me in the chat if this looks familiar. The middle picture for Ken. Okay, so we've got it on the arms. Anybody else? Does anybody else's child have skin that looks like this? Or maybe it's even worse. Anna, red cheeks and the red chin. So we got it on the face. Okay. Okay. Thank you guys for sharing. And let's see, Zozia, my son mainly has light cheek eczema, sometimes shows up spots on his back, but only when sick, all over the body except for the face. And then we have Jackie, mostly the face, the earlobes, and behind the knees. Thank you guys for sharing. And I'm so sorry that you and your family are going through this. But again, I want you to know that there is hope and things can get better. And here are these same children and what their skin looks like now. Okay. So it is possible to get results like this and to have a future without skin issues. Oh, Elizabeth, we're mostly clear, but on Dupixent, and I'd like to get her off. Okay. I do have, little segue. I do have a number of clients that are on Dupixent. Some are weaning off. It can be really helpful to get over the hump, while you're working on these internal root causes. So I have seen it be helpful for some people. So I'm glad that you're taking those steps to make your child comfortable. Yeah. And, I'm going to show you today the way to get this kind of relief for your child and a way to truly heal your child's skin from the inside out. Because the bottom line, again, really is that healing your child's skin from the inside out is the only way to stop the itching and get lasting relief and get your life back. And just imagine getting results like this for your child and just let that sink in for a minute. And how does that feel? Right? Let me know in the chat. And I know it might be hard to believe because if you're like so many of the parents I talk to, you've been let down before, but this is possible. And I'm going to show you how to make this happen today. Okay. And as a pediatric clinical nutritionist specializing in helping children with chronic skin conditions, I have helped thousands of children stop the itching and get clear, healthy skin, and most importantly, get their lives back. And the parents that I work with finally get to just be parents, not full-time nurses, and families can get back to just enjoying life. And just a little bit about my background. I have multiple advanced degrees, including a master's in nutritional biochemistry, which has given me an extremely deep knowledge and understanding of functional pathways in the human body, what they require to function, and how to restore them when they malfunction in order to optimize health. I'm also a licensed dietitian nutritionist and a certified nutrition specialist. I am a peer-reviewed published author, and I've served as faculty member at LearnSkin, where I've created CME courses for dermatology professionals, including conventional dermatologists, about the internal root causes of chronic skin issues. I've been featured on top podcasts in the field, and my work has been 100% focused on children with chronic skin issues for over 8 years now. But what I'm really most proud of is that I've built a proven and practical system that actually works for kids with these tough skin issues so that families don't have to go through what mine has. So drop a ready into the chat if you're ready to finally understand why your child's skin won't heal and what you can do about it. Yes. All right. Anna's ready. Okay. Let's take a look. Okay. So that missing piece that I mentioned, so in my clinical practice, I keep noticing something surprising, and this is a pattern that I'm seeing in children with chronic skin rashes, is that they had extremely low levels of key nutrients. And what shocked me even more is that the levels of these nutrients in the kids were even lower than adults that I worked with I used to work with adults with skin issues too. But so the levels of these critical nutrients were lower compared to the adults with the chronic skin issues, even if these children were eating healthy diets. So the reality is that many kids are actually nutritionally depleted without their parents even realizing it. And today we're going to dive deep into the critical nutrient imbalances that I see in nearly every child with chronic skin rashes. We're going to talk about how these imbalances keep your child stuck in an endless cycle of flare-ups, why these imbalances happen, and how to restore these nutrients so that the skin can finally start healing from the inside out, and also which tests actually provide real answers. So by the end of our time together today, I want you to understand what's missing and how to start really restoring skin from the inside out. And Skin issues aren't just an outside problem. And if you're here and if you've been following me for even a little while, you're probably aware of this. And when kids are struggling with chronic rashes, generally it's easy to assume that the problem is coming from outside. And some of the first rabbit holes we go down are like these irritants and allergens and food triggers. But the real issue is actually happening inside their bodies. And this is why healing your child's skin from the inside out is the only way to stop the itching, get lasting relief, and get your life back on track. And the skin is the largest organ of the body. The skin is an organ. And it is a direct reflection of what's happening inside, especially nutrient status and immune function. So it's really key when we see things happening on the skin. This directly is giving us signs about that person's nutrient status and how their immune system is functioning. And when key nutrients are low, the skin barrier actually becomes weak. The immune system overreacts, chronic inflammation develops, and it starts fueling itching, redness, and flares on the skin. Now, I want you to meet a couple of my clients. So these are two real clients of mine. I did change their names for privacy. So we're going to call them Olivia and Ethan. And so Olivia is 3 years old when we started working together. So she's on the right. And she had severe eczema since infancy. She scratched until she bled every single night, and her parents were desperate. They tried elimination diets and all of the creams and different supplements. They were in all sorts of Facebook support groups that had all sorts of suggestions for them. They were exhausted, heartbroken, and they just felt helpless watching her struggle. Ethan is on the right. He had red, inflamed rashes all over his arms and hands. He was 4 years old when we started working together. He was a picky eater. He didn't like protein, so he hardly ate any of it. And he had constant stomach aches. His parents had tried removing gluten and dairy and eggs. They changed everything in their home to eco-friendly versions. They put purifiers and filters on everything they could. They had allergy testing done for him, and they even worked with a naturopath, yet his skin kept flaring. And their parents really had tried everything, and they spent thousands of dollars, but nothing was helping. So drop a me in the chat if this sounds familiar. Yeah, Elizabeth. Yep, Elizabeth and Ken. And I'm sorry, I don't know if I can pronounce your name. Daria. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. So many of the parents I work with, you literally have tried everything. Yeah. Oh, I did say it right. Awesome. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, it's so challenging because you're trying all of the things and they are not solving the problem. And these are all of the things that you find that are supposed to help solve the problem. It's frustrating, it's maddening, and it's overwhelming, and it's disappointing and heartbreaking to watch your child continue to suffer when all of this is not helping. So now, when Olivia and Ethan each came to me, we identified a critical puzzle piece that we needed to address, which were nutrient imbalances and low levels of critical nutrients. So nutrients are the gas for your child's tank. Empty tank, no fuel. What do you think happens? It's like not fueling your car and expecting it to go. It is not going to work, right? Your car is not going to go. So what we found were low levels of many nutrients that are critical, not just for skin healing, but for everything that their bodies need to do: grow, develop, function, and build and repair healthy skin. So I do want to take a closer look, and I'm going to share this with you, what these key nutrient imbalances I see in kids with chronic skin issues are. And over, I've seen these same patterns. It's these specific nutrients, and they are critical for skin healing, for immune function, for controlling inflammation, and for growth and development. And I see these imbalances over and over, and these are the ones that you need to know about right now too. They're the same ones that I saw in Olivia and Ethan, and again, in all of my clients that struggle with their skin. So there were a lot of them. So we're going to talk about a summary of the main ones. Quick question, Elizabeth, is it possible to heal some of the allergies once they've tested positive? That's a really good question. We can talk more about this at the end. Really quickly, I will say, I can't say that this work cures or like heals allergies. However, I have seen a lot of my clients become less sensitive to, more tolerant of, able to eat things again that they were once not able to tolerate. So I have seen that happen. So I hope that helps. Okay, so the nutrient imbalances that were keeping their skin stuck, a main one is vitamin A, right? Vitamin A is needed for skin repair and immune function, and without it, their skin couldn't heal properly. Vitamin A is a popular supplement that's often given for skin healing and when there are skin rashes, so you might be familiar with this one. We also saw out of balance copper and zinc ratio. So zinc is needed for wound healing and for skin health, but too much zinc can actually deplete copper, which can actually lead to iron deficiency anemia. And so many parents supplement with zinc to help. Low iron also was something that I saw in both of them, as well as in many of my clients. Iron is essential for skin cell repair and for immune defenses to fight infection. We also saw low omega-3s, which are healthy fats, and their skin couldn't retain moisture. So without healthy fats, that makes the skin drier, more cracked, more inflamed. And we also saw low B vitamins. This is one that I don't think a lot of people recognize is an issue when we have skin rashes. Low B vitamins. B vitamins are critical for the body to make energy to fuel healing. They support immune function, and they help with inflammation control. We also saw elevated oxidative stress markers. So this is one of the most critical ones. So their bodies were burning through nutrients too quickly, which makes their skin more vulnerable to inflammation. So this is where antioxidant nutrients are super important, in particular vitamins C, E, and glutathione. Glutathione is also really important for detoxification, by the way. It's like one of the body's master antioxidants. We also saw low protein intake, and so their skin didn't have the raw materials that it needed to rebuild and repair itself. So protein is king on this journey, by the way, and your child's skin will not heal without enough protein. I could actually do an entire webinar on protein, so we might have to do that another time because it's really fascinating. I think so, at least. But we've got a lot more to cover today, so we're not going to dive too deep into any of these nutrients individually right now. So why were Ethan and Olivia still struggling? Well, the creams, the diets, the medications, they didn't work because their skin wasn't getting what it needed from the inside. So that's why healing your child's skin from the inside out is the only way to stop the itching, get lasting relief, and get your life back. Now, I want to let you guys know about some critical pieces of information when it comes to these nutrients. So this really is essential to understand is that nutrients don't work in isolation, and you're often encouraged to supplement with single nutrients, right? Like hello zinc, hello, vitamin A. So you're often encouraged to supplement with these, but you're not made fully aware of how these nutrients interact in the body. So the problems are that supplementing with just one can cause imbalances or deficiencies of another. Some nutrients compete for absorption, meaning that if you supplement too much with one, it can lead to a functional imbalance or deficiency of another. And your child really needs a balanced approach to using supplements to replenish the nutrients. So adding in a supplement here and there is not the answer. And I want to share with you too a little deeper dive into an example of how nutrients work together. And this is a connection between three of our key skin health nutrients, which are zinc, copper, and iron. And I see this one happen really often because so many kids are supplemented with zinc. So zinc and copper really need to stay in balance. Too much zinc supplementation can actually block copper absorption, and this can lead to copper deficiency and weakened collagen formation. Collagen is a critical skin protein. Copper is essential for iron metabolism. Low copper, which can be caused by too much zinc supplementation, can cause iron deficiency anemia, even if iron intake is sufficient. So that means even if enough is getting in through the diet. And then zinc, copper, and iron interact really closely. So if there's an imbalance in one of them, it's going to disrupt the others, which can impact skin health as well as overall health adversely. And here's a clinical pearl too, and I find this one really interesting. So if your child, and I do see this a lot in my practice, I see low iron, like chronically low iron, despite an iron-rich diet, or even if there are iron supplements being given, iron is still low. If that is happening, something that I see often is H. pylori in the gut. So H. pylori infections can interfere with iron absorption. So if you haven't looked into that yet, that might be something to check out, especially if your child does have chronically low iron, despite like everything else is going right. It could be a hidden gut infection. So let's talk about why these nutrients get so depleted, right? Because if this is a hidden problem, why is this happening? Well, and again, many parents, like it's easy to assume that my child's eating a balanced diet, so they're probably fine from a nutrient perspective. But the reality is that nutrient depletion is far more common in kids with chronic skin conditions than you might think. And that is because there is an increased nutrient demand for growth and development. So kids aren't just smaller adults. They're in a constant state of rapid growth and development. Their bodies require higher levels of nutrients, pound for pound of body weight compared to adults, especially for skin repair and regeneration, for immune system function, and for fighting inflammation. So if a child's diet isn't supplying enough, the skin is the first place to show signs of a deficiency because vital organs are going to take priority. So, the heart, the brain, the lungs, this is more important than the skin. It's like the totem pole, and the skin is kind of, the last one to get all of those nutrients, unfortunately. Also, skin conditions increase nutrient needs. So kids with eczema, psoriasis, or other chronic skin conditions actually need more nutrients than other kids. This is because chronic inflammation, the constant itching, the rapid skin turnover dramatically increases the demand for key nutrients. So when the skin is inflamed, the body needs more antioxidants to counteract that damage, right? And I'll get into that in a little bit because I do have some test results I'm going to show you. We're going to go over some case studies. But so the body requires more antioxidants to counteract this inflammation that's happening. And when a child is constantly scratching, the skin barrier needs higher levels of nutrients to repair itself. And then when the immune system is overactive, it also burns through more vitamins, more minerals, more antioxidants, also leading to faster depletion. So it creates a vicious cycle. The body is already struggling with inflammation, but the very nutrients needed to calm it down are actually getting used up faster than they can be replenished. And then we also can have gut health issues and poor nutrient absorption. So even if your child eats a nutrient-rich diet and nutrient-rich foods, gut imbalances can prevent proper absorption. Kids with chronic skin rashes always have underlying gut imbalances, including things like intestinal hyperpermeability, or as we know, leaky gut. So this means nutrients can pass through without getting absorbed. A lot of kids that are struggling with their skin have low stomach acid. This reduces the absorption of zinc, iron, protein, other critical nutrients. H. pylori is one of those gut imbalances that lowers stomach acid, which is one of the reasons why it can really interfere with iron absorption. Dysbiosis, which is imbalanced gut bacteria. So some microbes, some good gut microbes, actually help make some of our important vitamins. And so if they're missing or are low, nutrient levels are also going to drop. So this skin gut connection is really huge. And if your child's gut isn't functioning properly, their skin is not going to get the nourishment that it needs to heal. Another big problem that interferes with nutrient status in children are elimination diets and food restrictions. Who's tried an elimination diet? Raise your hand. I think everybody has tried an elimination diet, whether your child is struggling with their skin or any health issue, right? One of the first things that people go to is an elimination diet. Food is something easy to control. It's something easy to blame. And this is a really big problem. So many kids with skin issues are put on overly restrictive diets in an attempt to pinpoint food triggers. But eliminating too many foods, especially unnecessarily, leads to nutrient imbalances and deficiencies. And the goal really needs to be to nourish the body, not to deprive it. Elimination diets are always going to backfire in kids, and especially in kids with skin rashes. And think about it. We already talked about they're growing and developing, right? So they need more fuel, not less. And here they are on an elimination diet getting less fuel. It doesn't make sense, does it? Right? We're relying on elimination diets and cutting foods because we've been led to believe that we need to do this. And it's the exact opposite of what needs to happen to fuel your child's body so that their skin has the nutrients it needs and the building blocks it needs to heal from the inside out. We also, of course, many kids are picky eaters, many kids have sensory issues, and it's a common struggle. And so this is also something that, we need to take a look at. But when kids aren't, when they are picky eaters, when they do have taste or sensory aversions, we can also end up with a low nutrient diet that makes it even harder for their skin to heal. And this is what was happening with Ethan and Olivia. So their bodies have a lot of work to do. They're growing and developing. Their bodies are trying to heal their skin. Olivia and Ethan's diets were restricted and they were missing essential nutrients. And we also had some picky eating habits. Both kids had a lot happening in their gut too. So I'm going to show you their test results in a minute. Again, we're going to look at some case studies with them so I can show you what was happening. And we did the GI map comprehensive digestive stool test from them. So healing their skin wasn't just about adding in nutrients either. It was about fixing their gut so that they could actually absorb them. And, their bodies were using up nutrients faster than they could replace them because they did have a lot of inflammation. So we also did an advanced urinary organic acids test on each of them where we can see this happening. And I'm going to show you that too. So let's take a look at the 5-step approach that actually finally helped heal their skin. And I'm going to show you exactly what we did to get Olivia and Ethan off of the hamster wheel of rashes and flares and their parents off of the hamster wheel of trial and error and onto the path of real and lasting relief. So I would love to know, okay, so we're going to talk about functional testing to get real answers. So tell me in the chat, who has done functional testing? Like, have you done a comprehensive digestive stool test? Have you done urinary organic acids? Have you done, gosh, there's so many different tests out there. We're going to talk about, I'll explain this to you. We're going to talk about the two that I think are most important and that I find most critical for getting to the root cause of the problem, but there's so many out there. Okay, this is what, yes, Elizabeth. So GI map, mycotoxin, and P88. Okay, anybody else? Viome. Okay, yep. And so tell me, and I guess you're still here, so OAT and GI map. Okay, excellent. So, and this is going to be really critical. So we're going to talk about this testing. I will say, when it comes to like mycotoxins, the P88, like let's start with the P88. I can do an entire webinar on so many of these individual topics. So food sensitivities, not the root cause of the problem. All that the food sensitivity testing does. And again, like we're led to believe that this is the way to fix the problem. Food is not the root cause of the problem. Food sensitivities are a symptom. Oh, and tiny health. Yep. Okay. So food sensitivities are a symptom of gut imbalances, just like skin rashes are a symptom of these deeper root causes. Food sensitivities are also a sign of deeper root cause imbalances. Taking foods out, this is a huge misconception, right? We're led to believe that taking foods out is going to heal the gut. That does not happen. That's not how it works. Food sensitivities do not cause leaky gut. The gut is already leaky, right? So we already have this hyperpermeability. So it's the opposite, okay? Taking foods out does not heal up what's happening in the gut. It doesn't. So that's a misconception. And then mycotoxin testing. So this is for mold. Again, this is another really long rabbit hole, so I won't go into too much detail right now, but the way I look at that, it's not the place to start. If you have like seen mold, have reason to suspect it's an issue, okay, it makes sense to like, maybe check it out. But the other way I look at that too is why would somebody be more reactive than anybody else in the house? Like typically, if mold is going to be an issue, most people in the family, or at least some other people, will also be experiencing issues. If it's just one person, it always takes me back. Why is this one person more reactive than everybody else? It's their own internal imbalances that are causing the problem, and that's where we need to focus. So let's talk about, because I also see the Viome, the Tiny Health. So I want to talk about the GI map. Okay. So this is Ethan's GI map results, and these are the key findings that we saw for him. Now, GI map is from Diagnostic Solutions. It is a special stool test that is it's a professional grade stool test. Okay. So it is used by professionals to check gut health. It can be done at any age, and it gives a full picture of what's happening inside your child's gut. This is very different from a direct-to-consumer test like Tiny, like Viome, and those tests that you can get on your own. The problem with those, while they can provide some interesting information, they are not clinical assessment tools. They are not helpful for getting to the bottom of your child's skin issues. That kind of testing for resolving these kinds of problems is really a hard pass. It's really important to get the right testing like this instead. The GI map looks for harmful bacteria, problems with digestion, it looks for inflammation, it looks for how well the immune system is working. And that's really critical because 70 to 80% of the immune system is in the gut, and gut issues are caused by skin issues are caused by inflammation, right? So checking gut health is the first step to helping your child's skin heal. So um, what we see here for Ethan, we do see he had some H. pylori. Now, here's a little clinical pearl for you as well. A lot of practitioners don't address H. pylori unless it's overtly high on this testing. I do, regardless. If it's detected, it's a problem when there are skin issues because it can lower stomach acid, which can impact our iron, our zinc, and other nutrient absorption. When it is there, it lowers the stomach acid. It can allow other things we don't want to overgrow. The toxins it produces alone can make people itchy. So H. pylori is something that needs to get addressed. So we saw that for Ethan. We also saw out of balanced good gut flora. Those are the commensals. Ideally, this black arrow should be in the middle all the way down. We do not see that. We see a lot of low. We see some high. We also saw candida. So this is a major problem that we needed to address for him. Parasites. He had parasites as well. And then we also saw his digestion was not optimal. So we needed to work on his digestion. And then we also saw issues here with his immune response, in particular his secretory IgA. This is a measure for how robust that gut immune function is. And remember, 70 to 80% of the immune system is located there. So he was really struggling, his immune system was. And then we saw some inflammation, and his zonulin, which is the gut hyperpermeability, is creeping up. So I will explain a little bit more about this too, but like the way I look at this testing is different than a lot of other practitioners look at it. And that is because I work only with children with chronic skin issues. So there is a way to interpret this testing that is actionable. So for those of you that have a GI map and your child is still struggling with their skin, it could be that there are some nuances that, again, are important for children and for children with chronic skin issues that have been missed. Okay, so Wong in the chat. If you have multiple family members with high zonulin, do you suspect mold? No, I do not. Mold is not something that I go to again, unless you have like you've seen it. It can be a problem. Nowadays it's one of the biggest like fear triggers that rabbit holes that people are going down right now, like food sensitivities. People are still looking at that, but now it's even more common for people to look at mold. It's just, I think a lot of it is really fear-based. A lot of it is just unnecessary rabbit hole searching, is my opinion on it. But no, the zonulin, so which, by the way, I'll tell you a little bit about this too. So, when we have these types of findings, candida is easily shared between family members. Parasites are easily shared. H. pylori is easily shared. All of these things and all of these different types of imbalances create that state of inflammation and irritation in the gut that can lead to that hyperpermeability or higher zonulin. So I would say unless you like have seen mold in your house and people are having other types of symptoms, it's not going to be the mold. It's probably some of these things that are contributing to what's happening with other family members as well. It's probably the gut. Okay, I hope that's helpful. Let's see. Another question. My 9-month and 3-year-olds both have eczema. Do I look into mold? And again, I don't, mold is not the place to start. Mold is something I would look at again, if, okay, we'll talk about this for a little bit. I wasn't going to talk about this, but let's talk about it because I think it's key. So again, typically the cases I've seen where mold is an issue is where they've seen it in the house, they know it's there, and or other family members are having symptoms, which can be any number of things. It doesn't just have to be skin issues. When you're outside of the house, even for a short period of time, everybody feels better. Back in the house, even for a short period of time, symptoms come back. If you're not noticing that change, it typically is not mold. And, if you've done, again, like the GI map testing and some of these other tests and they haven't solved the problem, I'll get a little bit more into this, but it's still not a sign to go down a mold rabbit hole. Like, to me, that comes way later on down the line if other things aren't solving the problem. Mold, in my opinion, is not a root cause issue. I'm going to say that. It is not a root cause issue. It is a trigger. And it can be a root cause. It's the other internal root causes that are adversely impacting somebody's immune system that are making them more sensitive to all of these other things, including something like mold. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so I do want to show you also Olivia's GI map. So this was Olivia's GI map. And so here for her, we see that she actually had some pathogens. So we saw the C. diff toxin A, the enterohemorrhagic E. coli, and the Giardia. So that's even a parasitic pathogen. She also had the H. pylori detected. She had low digestive function. This should be at least 500 or greater, by the way. And if it's not, digestive assistance could be important. We also saw the low gut immune function here. Again, this is impacting a huge chunk of her overall immune function. And then we also saw that gut hyperpermeability or that leakiness. So for both of these kids with these types of gut imbalances, they really aren't able to absorb nutrients and get all of the nutrition that they need from their diet. So and that's the case even if their diet was perfect. And, remember, we also had some picky eating. They were on elimination diets. They're growing and developing, and they're struggling with their skin. So there was no way that their bodies have all of the fuel that they needed to do all of the work that it needed to do for normal function, for growth, for development, let alone for healing the skin. It's impossible. And, we can also see proof of that here. So this is the advanced oat test. So for those of you that have done urinary organic acids, this is the same thing. I like this test because it actually gives us additional information on top of the organic acids. So this one is called metabolomics. It's actually from Genova Diagnostics. This can be done on kids aged 2 years and up. So it checks for different types of nutrient imbalances in the body that are needed for optimal function. It looks at vitamin and mineral imbalances. It looks at the organic acids. It looks at amino acids. It also looks for signs of oxidative stress. So it can really help find hidden imbalances, insufficiencies, and deficiencies. It can help identify problems with detoxification, neurotransmitter metabolism, which play a role in mood and behavior, and also sources of inflammation that are really keeping your kids stuck and, in a cycle of rashes and flares and preventing it from healing. So this is Ethan's test. And what we can see here, and this is just the summary page. This is, for those of you that have seen organic acid, it's really long. So I'm just showing you the summary pages here. So we can see here, like, he had a lot of oxidative stress. This means he had a lot of inflammation. He had issues with mitochondrial function. So this is super important for the body to make energy that actually fuels healing. He had toxin exposures. So this was an issue we needed to deal with. And then he also needed support for methylation. Methylation pathways are involved in countless biochemical reactions in the body, including ones that are important for detox, metabolizing histamine, And they're involved in DNA changes, like changes in how DNA gets produced that are actually linked to skin disease and inflammatory skin disorders. And so we can see he was low. So everything in the red means he needs this, right? So we can see he was low in many different critical nutrients that were necessary for all of these important functions. So that's how this translates into the need in these different functional categories. And so you can see the summary of those nutrient needs here, including some of the ones we talked about, like the A, the C, the E. So these are all, vitamin A is also an antioxidant nutrient, by the way. But so look at it, he was just burning through his antioxidant nutrients and had all of this inflammation. B vitamins. B vitamins are really important for energy production and mitochondrial function. So he had a need for all of those. And even his minerals were off. So we saw a lot happening with Ethan. And then this is Olivia's organic acids results. So hers weren't quite as severe, but you can see it's the similar pattern. So we've got the oxidative stress and the need for antioxidants, the B vitamin needs, and some mineral needs. So we can see that here with her as well. And, you know, again, these are the same patterns that I see in every kid that I've done this testing on in my practice. And so by doing this, now we know what imbalances they had, which tells us what our next steps are to solve the problem. Now, back to that functional testing. So just to reiterate this, like reading the results for kids with skin problems does take special knowledge and expertise. And that's where my training and the years of successfully helping families with issues like this comes into play, because it's not just about looking at the numbers on the report. It's about understanding how these results connect to your child's health and their skin issues, taking all of this into account holistically. Because by the way, kind of going back to the stool test results for a second, like you can't just address the parasite or just address the candida or just address H. pylori. You need to have a holistic plan that takes everything into account. And if that hasn't happened, even though you have this testing, that's why your child's skin is still struggling. So it really is about taking the information, the data from these tests, turning it into a real plan that actually helps. And every child is different. So without that right focus, these important details can get missed. So again, if you've done this testing and you haven't seen results, it doesn't mean that you're missing information, right? So, if you've done this testing, you've done some, gut healing or tried some supplements or what have you, and it hasn't solved the problem, it's likely because you didn't have the right plan, the right expertise, and these things were not pulled together for you appropriately. It's not a sign. Like I see this a lot, right? It's like, okay, we did that. It didn't help. So now we're checking mold and now we're doing this and now we're doing that. Stay here. You got to this is the lane to stay in, and you just need the correct plan with the correct, specified for your child. And that's what's going to help you solve the problem. So step one was doing this testing. That was step one, to find out what was really happening for them. So we did that. And then now step two, that finally helped heal their skin, was expanding their diets. So long story short on this one is that anything that wasn't an IgE food allergy that they were advised to keep out by their doctor, we added it back in. So we focused on protein and the nutrients they were low in based on their testing. The metabolomics, one of the reasons why I like this over just a regular urinary organic acids, is because it has these pages in there that show you, when your child is low in something specific, like it shows you the food sources of those nutrients. So you really know where to focus. So it's kind of a neat little tool to have for that reason too. So we worked on expanding their diets and added things back in that did not need to be kept out, which was pretty much everything, because neither one of them, they both had allergy testing as well. Neither one of them had identified IG allergies that were advised to be kept out by a physician. So we did have a lot of wiggle room to expand their diets. So we did that. Then we also needed to fix their gut imbalances for better nutrient absorption, and also to lower inflammation and to get their immune system back on track. And so remember, gut protocols, a lot more involved than probiotics, glutamine, and something like oregano oil, for example. I can do an entire training on gut stuff. But that said, we needed to use the right supplements and the right steps to work through their gut imbalances in a holistic way that we accounted for all of them that we saw on the testing. Um, and again, remember, functional testing, powerful tool, but reading the results for kids with skin issues does take special knowledge. It's not just about the numbers or general gut healing interventions. We have to understand how all of these things connect to your child's health, to their skin, and what to do to fix them in a way that actually works. So if the past testing hasn't helped, it doesn't mean the answers aren't there. You just need the right guidance to help you turn those results into lasting improvements for your child. So in addition to working through that, we also did targeted supplementation. So yes, for their gut imbalances. And we also worked in the necessary missing nutrients to help their bodies heal from the inside out based on their urinary organic acids testing. And so, you know, understanding how all of these imbalances are connected to your child's health and knowing exactly what to do about them really is the key here to getting those lasting results. And that right plan turns the test results into real healing so that your child's skin can finally improve. And know this too. So you can't out supplement a diet that's lacking in the first place. So we do need to start with food, but you also can't out diet chronic skin rashes. So depletions are too severe and supplements are necessary to restore these imbalances. So it really does require a comprehensive and targeted approach. Okay, so Wong in the chat, are you saying you focus on vitamins, minerals before trying to kill off whatever bacterial or fungal imbalances? Actually, yes, I do. It's a combination and things are done together. I do have a unique approach and I am going to share a little bit more with you about that. But when we work together, my approach is different and it takes into account everything, but it does it in such a way that we are not just focused on killing things off. It's a piece of the puzzle, but it needs to be done in a very particular way for children, especially for children with skin issues. And that is something that I work through with each of my clients. And there are nuances to that, of course, because everybody is different. So everybody's plan does look a little bit different as well. But generally, the short answer is yes. Yes. Okay. So let's talk about too, how long does it actually take to correct nutrient imbalances? So healing's a process and nutrient repletion doesn't happen overnight, but most parents can start seeing some noticeable improvements within a few weeks with the right approach. And this is a general timeline for repletion and seeing improvements with the skin. I will say too, like generally with skin issues, I really start to expect to see significant skin healing and improvements within Elizabeth. I have to drop. Okay, thank you, Elizabeth. Yes, I will be sending out the replay of this. So make sure to check that out because I do have a special bonus for you for being here. So I don't want you to miss that. So check that out. Okay. So generally with skin improvements, I really expect to see change within 4 to 6 months. Um, at the same time, a lot of the families I work with start to see changes sooner than that. Everybody is really different. So this is kind of like a general timeline, but just know that everybody's different. So I've seen some of these improvements happen at different times. So I also want to show you, so let's look at the results. So before and afters. So this is Olivia. You can see her before and afters here. So within 3 months, her skin was actually about 95% clearer. Her digestion improved and her bowel movements improved. And then within 6 months, she was sleeping through the night. No more itching, no more scratching, and she was eating a full diet. And then here's Ethan's before and afters. So after 2 months, Ethan had less itching and his skin had to be really painful as well. So he had less itching and skin pain and his stomach aches were gone. And then within 7 months, his skin was fully healed and he was eating a wide variety of foods and he was sleeping great. And their parents were so amazed because after so much frustration and time wasted, their kids were finally free, which means that they were too. So what does this mean for your child? Well, since you're here today, I know you want to help your child with their skin and you want the itching to stop and you want their skin to heal. and you want to live life without skin issues, unless you just wanted to hang out with me here today, which is totally cool. But I don't think that's why you were here today. If it is, then thank you. But really, though, what this means for your child is that healing their skin from the inside out is the only way to stop the itching and get lasting relief and get your life back. And your child's skin is not going to heal unless we fix what's going wrong under the surface and address these real root causes of the problem. And since you're here and you've taken the time to listen to this, and again, thank you for being here, you're ready to do what it takes to help your child, and you have what it takes to make this happen. And it is time to take action on this. And you know now that nutrient imbalances are a missing link that can prevent your child's skin from healing. You know the key ones that I see in nearly every client, how to identify them and how to resolve them to get results like we've seen here today for your child too. And you could be wondering, between all of these moving pieces, how to expand their diet safely, how to get and interpret the testing, what supplements and dosing are going to help, how to implement all of this effectively for your child. What do you do next? Because this isn't something that most people can do on their own. And for years, parents just like you have been trying to piece together all the things and relying on cutting out foods and trying all the creams and jumping from one treatment to the next, only just to see the rashes come back. That cycle stops here. Now, nothing that I've shown you today is fluff or theory or something that might work. This is exactly what I've done to help my clients get results at over a 95% success rate. And it doesn't matter if you're brand new on this journey and trying to figure out where to start, or if you've been at this for 6 months or more. And, hello to those of you who've been battling your child's skin issues for years. I see you, I hear you. It doesn't matter if you've seen specialists, have functional testing already, have tried supplement protocols. It's about addressing what's going wrong from the inside out the right way so that their skin can heal from the inside out, because this is the only way to stop the itching and get lasting relief and get your life back. And you can start this right now. And this is exactly why I created Rashes Be Gone, which is my step-by-step proven system that is designed to help heal your child's skin from the inside out and address the main root causes of their skin problems that are preventing from healing, including what we've talked about today. I have literally cracked the code and hacked how to help your child's skin heal from the inside out. And I've turned it into a clear step-by-step roadmap for parents just like you. No more stress, no more anxiety, no more overwhelm, just a proven plan with everything you need to help your child feel better. And that can start right now. You can finally get your child and your entire family on the true path to lasting relief. And by the way, I know you're focused on helping your child, and I hear this from a lot of parents. It's like, well, I have all of this, but I'm going to help my child. Well, yes, your focus is on helping your child, as it should be. But the truth is, you deserve relief too. You do. Chronic skin issues don't just affect the person with the rashes, they impact the entire family. Just like how my dad's skin issues impacted me and the rest of my family, I have seen this firsthand. And I know how overwhelming and heartbreaking it can be. And it's time to stop the cycle right now. I do not want, it's really hard to live in that environment, and to watch somebody you love struggle and struggle along with them, right? And I know that you guys are going through this too, and it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't. And you do have a choice. So you can keep doing things the way that you have been, by trial and error, without a structured plan, without the right expert support and guidance, and with the stress, the anxiety, and the overwhelm. And if that's working for you, okay. But since you're here, I'm guessing that it's not working out the way that you hoped, and that you really could use some help, and that you are ready for real and lasting change. And so this is your opportunity to make that change and take action on what I've given you here today, which is a proven plan, one that gives you expert support and clear steps and real answers, the answers that you need to help your child's skin heal from the inside out. So then the obvious question is, how can you use this plan to help your child's skin? And this is exactly what Rashes Be Gone is designed to do. It's designed to take you by the hand and give you everything you need to confidently implement a personalized plan for your child that actually works. No more diet restrictions, no more endless creams, no more temporary fixes or guesswork. With Rashes Be Gone, you can take control and act with confidence. No more experimenting on your child's skin. You can feel confident in what actually works and get straightforward expert support and guidance to help their skin heal for good. You can stop the itch and forget about guessing about creams and soaps and fabrics and allergens and all of the things, right? You can stop chasing these triggers and you'll know exactly how to soothe their skin and stop the scratching and finally help them sleep. And you can have food freedom, no more stressful meal prep or avoiding parties or having to pack special food everywhere you go. You'll be able to safely reintroduce foods without fearing flare ups. And you can fix the real root causes and stop obsessing over every little trigger and actually support healing from the inside out instead of just trying to cover up symptoms, because that's what all this trigger chasing really does. It just is an effort to try to manage symptoms, but it's not solving the real problem. And with Rashes Be Gone, you get everything you need to help heal your child's skin from the inside out without wasting more time and resources on things that just don't work. And I really want to be straight with you. Rashes Be Gone, this is not a coaching program. This is not a course. This is a complete clinical support system that is designed to give you clear direction and real results. It gives you one-on-one support, which is backed by years of my clinical experience to help you uncover and address the real root causes of your child's skin issues with a personalized plan, target recommendations, and ongoing adjustments as we need to keep your child's progress moving forward. You get a clear path forward so that you can confidently take the right steps to help your child's skin heal faster with a plan that actually works. The functional testing is included, okay? Using this functional testing is key and helps us uncover real root causes with biochemical data that's unique to your child so that we can create that customized targeted plan just for them. Functional testing is crucial to uncover these hidden root cause imbalances that regular tests often miss. Rashes Be Gone gives you fully customized protocols, so no more guessing about supplements, nutrition, or lifestyle changes, and spending the time trying to piece together protocols for your child based on what you find online. You can get the right steps, the right supplements, and the right doses that are tailored uniquely to your child with these detailed protocols expertly created for you based on your child's unique health history, biochemical data, and their functional test results. You also get instant access to my Rashes Be Gone information library. Okay, so this is a comprehensive collection of all of the resources that I've built. There's a lot of them. I've been doing this for over 8 years now, successfully helping children with their skin and helping them heal from the inside out. I've got a lot of resources. I put them all into this library where you find nutrition guides and supplement protocols and lifestyle strategies and skincare tips and gut health resources and tons of bonus content. It's all easily accessible, all in one place, so you don't have to waste time searching everywhere else for answers. And you're also never alone with Rashes Be Gone. So not only do you get the one-on-one private support, but you also have access to our private community. There are group coaching sessions in that private community where you can connect with like-minded parents, get real-time answers to your questions, additional expert guidance and support, practical and actionable advice. You can stay motivated and on track in a safe space that is judgment-free. And really joining this online community and this group coaching means that you gain an entire team that supports your child's healing. And so again, remember, Rashes Be Gone is a complete clinical support system that gives you clear direction, one-on-one private support with expert guidance backed by years of academic, professional, and clinical experience and a proven track record of lasting results in kids with chronic skin issues. We use functional testing to uncover real root causes with biochemical data that's unique to your child so that we can create a customized plan tailored just for them. You also get access to the comprehensive resource library built over 8 years of successfully helping children with their skin. Plus, you'll be part of a private community of parents on the same journey, a safe place to ask questions, navigate challenges, and celebrate wins. And with the right plan, expert support, and a community by your side, your child's healing starts here. Rashes Be Gone is the most effective way to help your child's skin heal from the inside out. And helping your child's skin heal from the inside out is the only way to stop the itching, get lasting relief, and get your life back. And if you're still wondering if this is right for you, well, if you want to see your child eat freely and stop having to avoid birthday parties and stressing out over every ingredient or packing special meals everywhere you go, if you want your child to sleep through the night so that you can too, if you want to feel confident about your child's future and your child to feel confident and comfortable in their skin, so they can wear shorts in the summer and play and never feel embarrassed about their skin, so that they can grow up with the confidence that they need to succeed in life. If you want to stop obsessing over every trigger, imagine just not having to scan labels anymore and researching for hours or second guessing every choice. If you want to stop hearing doctors tell you they'll grow out of it or you're just going to have to live like this, and you want to finally see results, not just another prescription or a dismissal, and if you want your whole family to just enjoy life again, go on vacations, have regular outings, and just everyday moments without rashes controlling everything. And if you're ready for a proven plan that actually works, Rashes Be Gone is here to help your child break free from the chronic skin struggles for good. And just imagine, no more trial and error, no more confusion, no more overwhelm, just real and lasting relief. And you can see here some other clients that I've worked with and results that they've gotten. So imagine your child sleeping soundly through the night, like Coralys's daughter, who said she can finally sleep through the night without the terror of constant itch, and her skin is now clear. Imagine not stressing out over every meal. Jamie's son. So Jamie's son was diagnosed with failure to thrive because his diet was so limited and he was because of his skin, and he wasn't even gaining weight. So after working together, they were able to expand his diet, his skin is improving, and he's growing and gaining weight. And imagine just their skin finally healing and not having to constantly apply creams or ointments. So Aaron's son has been doing fantastic. His skin is now beautiful. And even during the winter, they didn't have to use any creams on him. And imagine your family just enjoying vacations, birthday parties, holidays, and everyday life without rashes controlling everything. Like Jessica's son, her son got to enjoy treats at his birthday like any other kid. He had chocolate cake, he had Rice Krispie treats, and the next day his skin was still completely clear. By the way, I am a full-on fan. Your kids should be able to have treats. They should be able to have cake at their birthday. Of course, if they have an IgE allergy, that's something different, but there's no reason why, we should be able to enjoy these treats in life. Food is one of the greatest pleasures in life, and it just breaks my heart when kids are restricted unnecessarily. It does not have to be this way. And so let's talk about, because I'm sure you're wondering, let's talk about the investment for Rashes Be Gone and truly being able to fix what's under the surface that's causing the problem in the first place so that you can get results like this and like Olivia and Ethan have. So other practitioners often charge $5,000 and up, and that doesn't even include testing. So that's not what this is going to cost you. And the total value for Rashes Be Gone is well over $10,000, but that is not what this is going to cost you either. So the total investment for Rashes Be Gone is an investment in your child's health and your family's future, where rashes don't control your days and your nights, and you can finally experience peace and freedom and enjoy normal life. And you can get the entire Rashes Be Gone system for just $39.97, and there are payment options, so you can start today for just $1,500. And you can literally start right now. And of course, you could keep trying to figure this out on your own, but what is this really costing you? Like every moment that you've spent guessing means more time lost, more stress, more sleepless nights, more money wasted on creams, supplements, testing, and lifestyle changes that haven't solved the problem. And time is something that you can't get back. Every day that your child continues to struggle, that cost grows. And this is your opportunity to stop the endless cycle of trial and error and finally get a clear, proven plan that works so you can get off the hamster wheel and get your child's skin and your life back on track. Now, that special reward for hanging out with me, bonuses. So we all love a bonus. Okay. So for a limited time, when you join Rashes Be Gone, I am actually going to cover the urinary organic acids test for you. This is a $500 value. Normally, Rashes Be Gone only includes the GI map, but now you can get both of these powerful tests to dive even deeper into your child's unique biochemical imbalances that are keeping their skin stuck in this vicious cycle of rashes and flares. And also, when you join, now you're going to get 6 months access instead of 4. So that's 2 months extra that I'm going to include for you. And this matters because healing your child's skin from the inside out is a journey, and real lasting change can take time. So these additional 2 months do give you more space to go at your own pace, dive deeper into the resources, and truly integrate the entire system. And remember that nutrient replenishment and resolving these imbalances isn't overnight. It does take time. So 2 more months gives us more time to make that happen and work through it together. And then when you get this extra 2 months, that also means you get an extra private session with me. So this means more personalized support tailored to your child's specific unique needs, where we can further track your child's progress, continue to adjust their healing plan, and just troubleshoot any challenges that you're facing together. And this added session really just ensures that you're not navigating the process alone and that you have the ongoing expert guidance every step of the way. Everything inside Rashes Be Gone is based and built around what I've seen work for thousands of families that I've successfully helped, and it can work for your child and your family too. Now, the choice is yours. I don't want you to miss out. So now is the time to take action and claim these bonuses, because these bonuses are only available for the first 5 people who join by March 3rd, which is Monday. Okay. So because you're here, you are hearing this right now. So if you want to take advantage, now is the time before somebody else grabs them. Okay. So I do want to share some more success stories with you too. And you can see here just a few more examples of what is possible with Rashes Be Gone and this proven system. So you can see where Caitlin and Rex's kids were and where they are now and what they had to say about their experience and the results that they got. You can see Caitlin number one, her daughter. She had a lot of facial involvement, and her face is the best it's ever looked. She's almost completely clear there, sleeping better. They had seen a pediatric allergist, their pediatrician. They had gone the Chinese medicine route. They had worked with 2 different naturopaths. They were in online support groups. They tried various supplements and stool testing already and diet changes and even more, and they weren't getting anywhere. So now she's doing very, very well. And then we also have Caitlin number two. So Caitlin's daughter is confident in her skin now, and she's wearing short sleeves and shorts, and skirts and dresses, and she's sleeping. And they had invested a lot of money on things didn't work. So she was hesitant at first, and she was just so glad that she enlisted my help. And now not having to watch my daughter suffer every single day has been the biggest blessing, she says. And then Rex, they noticed improvements within a few days of trying some of the recommendations. So I also wanted to share with you too. Okay. And remember, with Rashes Be Gone, take control and act with confidence. You can stop the itch. You can have food freedom. You can fix the real root causes, right? So remember, this is all possible, and this is what happens when you join Rashes Be Gone. And remember too, just to recap, your investment in Rashes Be Gone is an investment in your child's health and your family's future, where rashes don't control your life anymore. And you can finally experience peace and freedom and just enjoy being a parent, enjoy life, enjoy normal day to day. And you get the entire Rashes Be Gone system for just $39.97. And there are payment options, so you can start today for $1,500. And also remember, Rashes Be Gone, this is not a coaching program or a course. It is a complete clinical support system designed to give you clear direction and real results. You get the one-on-one support and guidance. The functional testing is included. You get the expertly designed, customized protocols. You get access to the Rashes Be Gone information library, which is that comprehensive resource hub. And you're never alone, because not only do you get the one-on-one support, but you also have access to our private community, as well as to regular live coaching sessions within that private community, which are another opportunity to get my expert guidance and support as well. So, and remember to take advantage of your bonuses. The urinary organic acids test is included right now. This is huge. Okay. That's included. You get extra 2 months access, making this a full 6 months. And then you also get another private session because of that extension. So you get all of this extra support. And Rashes Be Gone really is the complete proven system, and it's designed to give you everything you need to get to the root causes of your child's skin problems, just like it has for so many families. And it can really work for your family too. With Rashes Be Gone, you can help heal your child's skin from the inside out and get your life back without wasting more time on resources or strategies that don't work. And the choice is yours. And I don't want you to miss out on this, because now is the time to take action and claim these bonuses, because they are only available for the first 5 people who sign up by March 3rd. I wish I could give that to everybody, but I can't. So first 5 people who sign up. So the next step is really simple. So I am going to drop the link to join in the chat here. And I would love to see you join me inside. Here we go. Boop. So, this really is the next step. Join me inside Rashes Be Gone today. Take this next step towards lasting relief for your child. And remember, healing your child's skin from the inside out is the only way to stop the itching, get lasting relief, and get your life back. And Rashes Be Gone is the most effective way to make that happen. And you do have a choice, right? If your child's skin is healing and, maybe you're on the right path, right? If you are seeing progress, that is awesome. But if deep down, something is still missing, if the flares keep coming back, and if you're still searching for answers and real solutions, this is your chance to finally get the support, the clarity, and the proven system that you need. You don't have to stay stuck wondering if there's more that you could be doing. We can move your child and family toward real, lasting skin healing and relief. And take advantage of those special bonus opportunities now before somebody else grabs them from you. And just a couple more success stories here that I want to share with you. And just to show you again, like we have Alex and Courtney and Susan and what they had to say about their experience and the results that their kids have gotten through Rashes Be Gone and this work. And I just want to point out, because this one gets me every time. So this is Susan's son. So this almost makes me cry every time, but she said, I can now touch, hug, and kiss my son's face without it being painful for him. I mean, like, I just, it's just amazing to me. And I feel so very grateful. So I'm gonna get emotional again. I'm so very grateful to be doing this work. Um, and I appreciate you guys being here, and your dedication to helping your children really just makes what I do feel worth it to me. What has happened with my family and my father, like, that's not going to change. That's just the way it's going to be. That's just the path that he's chosen. So that's not going to change, but it doesn't have to be like this for other families. And so that's why I'm here. That's why I'm doing this work. And I hope that this inspires you to see what's possible for your child too, and to know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and your child doesn't have to live this way. You don't have to live this way. You can get back to normalcy. You can enjoy being a parent. Your child can enjoy life. And I'll leave it at that for right now. But yes, this is what's possible for your child too. And I've just seen how this approach can change lives. And you've seen it. I've shown it to you here today. And I've seen it over and over. And I just know that this can happen for your family too, which is why I'm inviting you to join me inside Rashes Be Gone, so that together we can make this happen for your family. And I just want you to imagine your child free from the itching, wearing what they want, eating all of the foods, and just living their life to the fullest. And imagine your family thriving and enjoying life without the constant stress, and just imagine living life without skin issues. And we can make that happen starting right now. So you've got the link in the chat. I dropped that in there. And I am going to go back and look and see if there are any questions. Thank you guys for hanging out. I know I talk a lot, so sorry. Thank you for listening. Okay, so I'm just going to scroll up and see if there were any questions that I missed. Jackie, if you're still here, you are great. Nutrient imbalances. My almost 4-year-old has had an about 80% organic whole foods diet um, since he started BLW. Oh, okay, about 6 months ago. He was breastfed up until 3 years old. Part of the frustration about the eczema journey, and I notice other kids in my family formula fed, eating unhealthy processed foods, and they have zero skin issues. So why would my child be affected by nutritional imbalances? Okay, good question. Okay, so generally, yes, even if your child is eating a healthy whole real foods diet, that alone isn't going to solve the problem. So what I see in every single kid I've worked with are gut imbalances. So it's those gut imbalances that essentially, no matter what is in the diet, are going to make the diet ineffective for solving the problem. So it's these internal imbalances that can prevent, especially the ones in the gut, that can interfere with nutrient digestion and absorption. So even if the diet is perfect, it's not going to make much of a difference because the body's not able to use those nutrients. So that's usually what it comes down to. I know, and it's so frustrating because you see all of these kids and, people out there eating just crap, let me say it, right? And they're fine. And it's like, what the heck is going on? Unfortunately, it's these internal imbalances. And it really does always take me back to the gut as the starting point. And the way I look at it too, and again, we kind of talked about this a little bit when we were touching on the mold. It's like, why would one person be so reactive to things that aren't affecting other people? It always takes me back to that specific person's internal, like their immune system. Why are they so reactive? What's causing this inflammation? Why are they struggling when other people aren't? So when we're looking at where is this inflammation coming from, inflammation is an immune system response. Where is the biggest chunk of the immune system? That is located in the gut. That's where 70 to 80% of the immune system is. So it goes back to the gut. And so when we're looking at the gut, that's where it's really key to get a comprehensive, like a holistic plan. Like I was mentioning, right? Like, depending on what we see in there, you have to look at all of the imbalances together. You can't just look at the H. pylori or, just a parasite or just do a candida cleanse. I don't believe in cleanses. I'm just using that word for an example. But like you can't do an individual thing. What you want to do is say, okay, we have all of these imbalances happening in this person's body. And we can include the nutrient imbalances along with that too. But so we have all of these imbalances happening in somebody's body because the thing is, let me back up a little bit. So with, not digesting and absorbing appropriately, we're not getting as much of the nutrients from the foods we eat, even the healthy whole real foods. And then those depletions create more inflammation. So we get like this vicious cycle of inflammation that's coming from a lot of different pieces of the puzzle from inside somebody's body. So you really have to look at them all holistically and like back to the gut. When you're looking at the gut, it's like a bucket, right? So we're looking at the gut bucket, not just, oh, there's candida, or, oh, I just need a digestive enzyme, or, oh, I just have leaky gut to deal with. That's not the situation. It's like you need a really comprehensive plan. And somebody asked, I don't remember if it was Elizabeth, but somebody mentioned like, oh, so you replete nutrients first. Kind of, but not really, because the nutrients aren't really going to get repleted like until you fix the gut, but we kind of need to do both in conjunction. So this is what I teach and work through with my clients in Rashes Be Gone because everybody's different. But like when I create a protocol for a client and for a child, what we're looking at is resolving the gut imbalances, looking at the nutrient imbalances, looking at their lifestyle, looking at their whole health history. We do look like what's going on. Are there clues and things happening with other family members? Are there environmental things that are playing a role? Are there allergies? Like all of these things need to be taken into account. And once we do that, then we can create that customized plan for someone that is going to be that is going to give us results because it takes all of those specific pieces into account. I hope that helps. Sorry, my nose is all I was got emotional. Okay. How to check for zinc and copper levels and how to balance those. So we can see that in the urinary organic acids, the advanced one, it does look for iron and copper levels. This is also something I do when I work one-on-one with clients. So as part of Rashes Be Gone, as part of our private sessions together, I do have a list, if you will, of conventional tests that we get from your conventional doctor if needed. I typically don't find it necessary to have to get blood work. But this is where, like, if you are going to get blood, because blood work is really traumatic for children. So we can avoid that most of the time. But if your child is going into the doctor for blood work of any sort, then, that is something I can always also give you a list of things to ask for so we can check conventionally too. Conventional blood work can be helpful for ruling out like overt deficiencies versus more subtle imbalances. So, often what happens with kids struggling with their skin is that, your test results look fine, right? Like the test results come back fine. Well, they're not fine. They're just not looking at the right data. So conventional testing is going to look for overt deficiencies. And, when we're talking about conventional lab work in general, that those reference ranges are for deficiency, not for optimal health, right? So they are missing a big piece of the puzzle, but they can be helpful for ruling out like really overt issues and things that need medical attention. So long answer was that. Short answer, the advanced urinary organic acids test can help, and so can the GI map, just to make sure that we are absorbing and digesting nutrients appropriately and in resolving any imbalances in there that might prevent that from happening. So I hope that helps. Daria, I see your message and I will look. I will look. Okay, sorry about that. I'm sorry I missed a message. I'll see if I can find it. Okay. And if not, I will shoot you an email. Okay, so Wong had to hop off. I'm glad this was helpful. And then Ken, since we eat different foods each day, how does this impact the GI map testing? It doesn't actually. So eating different foods each day is a really good idea. Variety is key, ensuring that you get in a wide variety of nutrients. So eating different foods every day isn't going to impact the GI map results. The only thing I would say, like, it would impact the results if somebody, the gut microbiome, like if somebody was vegan, I don't recommend this, but if somebody was like vegan and then went carnivore and then you did the GI map, then that's kind of where I'd be like, yeah, we might want to wait a little while. Like that can impact results. But generally, if somebody's eating, different foods, whole real foods, that's not going to impact the results. So I wouldn't worry about it from that perspective. Okay, Daria, I got your email. Perfect. Okay, thank you. I will check that. Anna, a few questions. Can GI map be done to a baby? Yes, it can be done at absolutely any age, and you can collect from the back of the diaper. But yes, they can be done at absolutely any age. And two, to use topical medicines as well, like corticosteroids and antibiotics. I do not recommend those. I'm a clinical nutritionist, not a medical doctor. I have a lot of clients that use those as needed as we are doing this internal work, and then they are able to wean off of them, as we go, as the skin starts to heal. The way I look at those medicines is that they're there to be helpful, right? We don't want to rely on them long term because there can be issues when they are relied on long term. But what I tell my clients, for example, I'm not worried if they're using them because we are working on the internal root causes of the problem, and then we can wean off of those as we go. There are a lot of nuances with that, of course, but I'm not one of those practitioners that's like, oh, you can't use that. That's horrible. No, they're there to get over the hump. And sometimes they're necessary because your child doesn't need to struggle and suffer. Also with antibiotics, the way I look at that, you never want to DIY a skin infection, especially on broken skin. That can become really dangerous because it can easily enter the bloodstream and cause other problems. So I am a huge fan of using antibiotics if there's an infection. It can be really helpful to knock that out, get over that hump, so we can continue to do the internal work to really solve the problem. Are the imbalances resolved once and for good, or is this a lifetime process? It is not a lifetime process. Once we get the issues rebalanced and resolved, I help my clients wean off of the plan, like wean down from their supplements, and we get off of them. I always think some things are a good idea to be on long term, like the right probiotic, maybe a multivitamin, things like that. But those are all things that are individualized that I work through with my clients. So we would do that together and rashes be gone. And yes, you can continue it for years, but hopefully that's not necessary. That's the whole idea, right? I want to see people get results within 4 to 6 months, and yes, I do have some clients that we work together longer than that, and I have some clients that get results sooner than that. So everybody's different, but this is not like a lifetime process. That is not the intention. Do you use antibiotic or antifungal medicines to cure, say, H. pylori or Candida? And how often is there a need for those medicines to be taken again? Or to have medication resistant bugs. So again, I don't use conventional like antibiotics or antifungals. I'm a clinical nutritionist, not a medical doctor, so I don't prescribe. But there are different strategies that we use in terms of like, certain diet interventions, but also supplements. So there are supplements like when it comes to Candida, H. pylori, even parasites, this is where you have to back to the gut. You have to look at everything holistically. You can't just do H. pylori, Candida, whatever. You have to look at the whole picture, which is why this approach is so effective, even from a natural perspective, using supplements. There are supplements that help with H. pylori. There are ones that help with Candida. There are some that help with both. So when I create plans for people, I pick the interventions that are going to hit on things holistically. Because like you can even say, like, let's say, your child has H. pylori and you go to the doctor and you get an antibiotic for the H. pylori, but they also have Candida. They're still going to have skin issues because you haven't gotten rid of the Candida. You haven't addressed this. You haven't addressed all the pieces. So the medications aren't even going to help. Just an example. So I hope that helps answer that question. If there are proven food allergies, are they overcome after the program? So I mentioned at the beginning, this is a really good question, so I'll mention it again. So with food allergies, everybody is different. I have seen many of my clients get improvements where a lot of them are able to tolerate foods that they couldn't before, that were food allergies. Others, that's not the case. It really depends and it's very individualized. I would say, when it comes to the food allergies, something that can be really helpful is working with your allergist, like, depending on what it is, eggs, dairy, peanuts, like a lot of these can be desensitized. There's the oral tolerance, these different programs that help tolerate these foods. So I've seen success with that as well. So again, everybody's different. I have seen people become less sensitive to, more tolerant of, able to eat foods that they weren't before, including some food allergies. So I can't say that this like cures food allergies, but I have seen it help with that as well. Okay, great questions, guys. Any other questions that anybody has today? All right. Well, thank you guys so much for being here today. I'm just going to drop the link for Rashes Be Gone into the chat again, because I would love to have you guys join me inside. So if there aren't any other questions, thank you guys so much for being here today. And just remember that your child doesn't have to live with the chronic itching and the shrinking diets or the fear of what the future is going to hold. And you don't have to live with the stress and the guilt and the overwhelm. And there is a way forward, and I'm here to help you every step of the way. And I would be so honored to have you join me inside Rashes Be Gone so that we can work together to help your child get lasting relief. The itching can stop and you can get your life back. And just imagine your child being free from the itching and wearing what they want and eating all of the foods and just living their life to the fullest. And imagine your family thriving and just enjoying life without the constant stress and just being able to live life without skin issues. And we can make that happen together. So I would love for you to join me inside. And I am going to send out the replay when the recording is ready. So I will send out an email with that. And remember that those special bonus offers are available for the first 5 people that join. So you guys get first dibs on that since you're here today. And Thank you so much. If you guys have any questions, you can always respond to my email. Again, I'll be sending that out as soon as the replay is ready. And have a great day. Thank you guys so much for being here. I really hope this was helpful. Bye, everyone. Anna, I need to check if those tests are. Oh, Anna, by the way, I should mention this too. Okay, those tests are available in Europe. Yes. So there are labs around the world, so I can get them to you wherever you are. So, but you can email me too. Let me put my email in here if you have any questions. Jennifer. Okay. So send me an email, Anna, and tell me where you are, or you can tell me where you are here. But yes, those tests are available all over the world. Because if you're interested and want both tests, jump on this in Bulgaria. Yeah, they're available everywhere. So that should not be a problem. So we can get that testing to you. But yeah, I just want to make sure that you guys can jump on this and get both tests before somebody else grabs it. All right, everyone. And my email's there. So if you have any questions, just feel free to reach out and let me know. I'll send out the replay later today. As soon as it's ready, I'm going to get that ready to send out. And thank you so much for being here. And I hope to see you guys soon. Bye, everyone.